Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Catherine and I make videos about dyeing, sewing, and upcycling. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do a really easy and beautiful rainbow ombre pattern for tie-dye. I'm going to be using tulip dyes, which are super easy to find and get. I will put the links to all of the supplies down in the description below, but I'm going to be using just classic rainbow colors. So before we get started, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more tutorials on dyeing, sewing, and upcycling. All right, so let's get started.
Just like any video of mine, I'm going to put the supplies down in the description below for you. I used a pre-washed 100% cotton t-shirt. It's very important to use a cotton t-shirt. I used a tulip dye set and I ended up getting the big one so I can use it for many projects. Tongue depressors, plastic wrap, and Synthropol, also known as dyer's detergent. I'm going to start by smoothing out my t-shirt by the seams and then folding it in the center front and accordion folding it about 1.5 inches into a long skinny rectangle. So that means going one direction for the first fold and then the opposite direction for the next fold, and so on. When it comes to the sleeves, I'm just going to continue to fold them into that rectangle and just keep going until the whole thing is accordion folded. So once it's folded, I'm going to sandwich tongue depressors. If you're using a new t-shirt, be sure to wash the t-shirt before tying it up and dyeing it to get all of the sizing off from the factory. And if you're using an older t-shirt, just make sure it's nice and clean. That's going to help the dye to stick the best to the fibers. So now it's all tied up, and I used 5 sets of tongue depressors. So there are 6 segments, which is exactly enough for our rainbow colors. So I've picked out the rainbow colors from my kit. And like I said, I got the 18 color kit so that I can do multiple projects with it. And I'm going to add about 4 ounces of water for each bottle. I'm just filling it up halfway full, and then I'm just shaking it as vigorously as I can to make sure I get the whole thing completely mixed up. I'm going to do that for all my colors. You can add more water to make more dye, but it will be a little bit more diluted. I wanted a really strong color, so I just used about half of the bottle full of water just to get a really strong color. Next, I'm going to get my t-shirt wet. I'm just using a spray bottle. You can dip it in water if you want, or run it under the faucet. I didn't want mine soaking wet, so I just wanted a little bit of moisture on the t-shirt. So I used a spray bottle. So now I'm coming in with my first color, which is red. And I just want to say that I was being very careful not to get it all over on the other parts of the t-shirt, and also just to be careful not to make a mess in my workspace. So I'm putting the first color, red, down by the collar, and I'm putting a little bit on the other side of that tongue depressor because I want it to be an ombre. I want it to blend together. So now I'm coming in with the orange, and you can see I've done the same thing on the opposite side of the tongue depressor so that when I put the yellow in, it can kind of blend together. Here I'm putting a little bit more water just to let it kind of blend together. And you can see I accidentally got some red on the white part where the green's going to go, but that's okay because the green is going to cover up that red. So now I come in with my green, and I put a little bit on the opposite side of the tongue depressor and fill in the rest. Now I have this rag here, and I recommend using a rag just to make sure you keep everything tidy, because this dye is really intense and it will get on you, get on your clothes, get on your hands. So I'm wearing gloves. I have my drop cloth down that came with the kit, and I'm just being really careful not to spread the dye to the other colors, like the other segments, especially like the yellow and the orange, because they're very light, and if you get like blue on the orange, it's going to turn brown. So every chance I get, I just sort of use my rag to tidy up. Now I'm turning it over and I'm going to follow suit and add more dye to the back. So I'm going back in with my red, orange, yellow, green, etc. until I get the whole thing completely filled with dye. If you're interested in learning more about dyeing, you can check out my Skillshare classes. I have multiple on different types of dyeing, and you can use the links down in the description below to try Skillshare for free. I also have a lot of different dyeing playlists on my channel that I will link down in the description and at the end of this video. Alright, so now we're completely done with the dyeing, and I think I did a pretty good job of keeping my space tidy. I'm going to just give it one last wipe down, and then I'm going to cover it with saran wrap. I'm going to put saran wrap on the top and the bottom, and of course I'm being very careful not to spread the dye from one part to the other. And I'm putting saran wrap on the top and the bottom, and then I'm just going to continue to wrap it up with more saran wrap. I'm going to let this sit for 24 hours to let it batch or let the colors completely set into the cotton fibers. Here's a little close-up, and now we just have to be patient.
Okay, so it's been 24 hours and my tie-dye is ready to open.
So I'm just unwrapping it, and I'm going to be careful. I have my gloves on, and I also have my rag handy again, and I want to be careful to make sure the space is clean and I'm not spreading dye from one segment to the other. So now I'm just going to clip the rubber bands so that I can slide those tongue depressor pairs off. And I'm being just as careful as I can be to not disturb any parts of the tie-dye.
And let's open it up. Ooh. Oh, wow. Very nice. Okay, so now I'm going to go rinse this with cold.
So I have it in my sink, and I'm going to start to rinse, and I'm going to be careful at the very beginning to start by rinsing it out and not letting it sit in the runoff dye. So you can see I'm holding it up and all that dye is coming out, and it's pretty dark and it's kind of muddy. So after the water starts to run clear, I'm going to add Synthropol and use hot water. And you can see it's getting more of that dye out. Synthropol keeps the white parts white and the dyed parts the color that they are supposed to be. So it's great, and I like using it a lot. I'm taking my time to make sure I get as much of the excess dye out as possible. And then I'm going to wash it in my washing machine on hot with more Synthropol, just a little bit will do. And then I'm going to dry it on hot to set the dye. So here it is completely done, and it has a really nice ombre effect, but there still is resist, which is kind of the fun part of tie-dye, and I think that it's important to have a little bit of negative space in any tie-dye project. I got pretty vibrant colors, and I think that's because I used only half of the water recommended by the instructions. So that's just kind of like a little hack to make this dye stronger. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe for a new video every Thursday. If you do a project, be sure to tag me on my social medias at Onyx Art Studios, and check out my website for my online dyeing classes, and be sure to sign up for my mailing list so you never miss a new date or a new class. If you like this video, be sure to check out these videos and playlists next. You'll get lots of inspiration for tie-dye and other kinds of fabric dyeing. All right, see you guys next time. Bye!